Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. If you're returning, I greatly appreciate it. If you're new, please consider subscribing to get information about what it's like to move to and live in Portugal, as well as I provide European travel news as I get updates on things like cancellations, strikes, delays. I try to get that to you. Today is going to be a comprehensive video. It's going to be a little longer, and it's going to go through cost of living for Portugal, but I'm going to do it and give you information over a 4-year period. I've done other videos in the past, and each year I try to do a new video on cost of living, but I want to make sure that you realize and you have some sense of some of the costs that might have gone up or some of the differences that we've incurred. I'm going to go through the types of expenses as well as the associated costs for the years 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. If you have any questions or you want to know certain information, please leave a comment. If you've lived here or have looking to move to Portugal and you've seen the cost lower or higher than what I've projected here, please put that in the comments. I'd love to get a discussion going as far as what you're seeing and what you're hearing, because we are living it. Some of these, I want to say at the outset, some of our costs are not going to be comparable to anything that you may do. And I'll explain as we go through them. We like to travel a lot, so our travel costs might be much higher on a monthly basis than what you are going to experience. But let's get into it. So first things first, we live in a 2-bedroom apartment within the Lisbon city center. It's about 650 square feet if we're going to convert it to, let's say, US terms from square meters. We do not have a car. We do have AC and heat units in each room. So those are things that we installed after we purchased this property. And this cost is going to be in euros. So I'm going to break out for you. Each line item is in monthly cost and in euros. And as making this video, most of the, well, say to the US dollar, for those of you coming from the US, it's about on par with the euro. So you can look at this as almost US dollars as well. So this is it. Let's get into what we're looking at for our costs. So we have a mortgage on our property. We purchased our property. We put a majority, like 60-70% down, but we still have a small mortgage left on it. It is 645 euros a month, and as you can see, for the last 4 years we're paying the same amount. It's a fixed mortgage, so we're not paying any more, not paying any less. I can tell you, for the district that we live in, the area Lapa and Estrela within Lisbon, to find the same size apartment, that's a 2-bedroom in the same area that is renovated or in newer condition, that's going to cost you anywhere from 1,300 to 2,000 euros a month. So we're saving greatly by actually purchasing as opposed to renting. Most of our friends rent. They pay a ton more in different parts of Lisbon and throughout Portugal. We're doing really well because we're paying a small mortgage and we bought versus rent. This is the biggest line item that you have to look at if you're looking to move to Portugal. This is the one that makes it or breaks it right off the bat. It's your rent or mortgage. If you can buy a property outright, that's the best scenario. But if you can't, this is what will eat up your retirement cost or your daily or your monthly living cost right off the bat. Next is water. So this is for all of our water usage. As you can see over the years, it's only gone up €1 over that 4-year time frame. The last 2 years, it's up $1. The next is electric. There are some places that have gas, some have electric. In fact, even in our building, there are places that have apartments with both gas or electric. I take that back. They don't have both of them. They have one or the other. But for us, this is our monthly electric cost. And this is averaging out over 12 months, whether it be a hot summer or a cold winter. This is what we're looking at, anywhere from 60 euros in 2019 up to 81. The costs are going up a little bit. The electricity costs per kilowatt hour, if you will, is going up, but also we've used the electricity a little more, especially the AC and the heat, respectively. The next slide is telecommunications. So that encompasses 2 cell phones with lots of data, not unlimited data, but lots of data. You have a cable with about 200 channels. You have high-speed internet. So those things all combined in our telecom bill started out at 83 euros a month in 2019. It's gone up to 101 in 2022. And it's not so much, it's more we're buying more data. So the difference between 2019 and 2022, they're not charging us more for television, they're not charging us more for cable. We're paying more because we want more bandwidth, if you will, in our phone usage and our data, especially as we keep traveling, we need it. Healthcare. So HCare stands for healthcare. This is premium cost in actual prescriptions or doctor care costs. When you're looking at this and you're saying 84 euros to 115, going, wait a second, we can't find any private insurance. Are you doing public insurance or private? We are doing private insurance. We're doing it with Medish. It's also employer-sponsored insurance. So through my wife's company, I am, through her company, I have insurance. So that's why the premium is much lower than if you're going to go find individual private insurance on your own. But this also encapsulates any doctor visits, any procedures, any prescription costs. Still extremely low by many countries' measures. The next is transportation. So transportation has gone up each of the 4 years. This is Uber, Bolt, tram, train, bus. This is not airplane as in travel. This is specifically getting around town with different modes of transportation. And the main difference between the transportation cost in 2019 and 2022 is, quite frankly, Uber and Bolt. The train tickets are the same, the tram tickets are the same, the bus tickets are the same, but to go someplace, Uber and Bolt is now charging sometimes significantly 2 to 3 times as much to get to the same place as they did in 2019. So our transportation costs are a little skewed, so we try to do our best to walk wherever we can, whenever we can. But sometimes, you know, if you have to go to the other side of town, sometimes the buses don't connect properly or in the right time frame, so you got to get an Uber or Bolt, and you got to pay the fee. The next slide I'm showing is food, clothes, and household items. When we're looking at food costs, this is everything from going to the grocery store to dining out and eating out, as well as eating in, getting delivery, getting a pizza delivered, getting Uber Eats. So that food cost was $3.85 on average a month in 2019. It's gone up to $4.40 in 2022. I'll be honest, our habits haven't changed much. We still go out as much as usual. We still eat in as much as usual, still get the same types of groceries that we have over a 4-year period. But the food prices, especially in 2022, getting stuff from the local grocery store has increased. And so that is where that is impacted. We're not going out more often. It's just the food we're getting at the grocery stores have increased in price. Next, clothes. Interesting thing about clothes is that our time here, it's been relatively static. Once a year, we'll get a pair of tennis shoes, new shoes. We'll buy some new shirts or a new blouse or a new pair of jeans. We don't need a lot of new clothes. We're kind of using what we came with, as well as just being very responsible and not getting a bunch of new clothes. We don't have the room for it anyway, but as you can see here, clothes on a monthly average were 30 and have gone up to 38. And that's more because maybe we bought 2 pairs of shoes this year as opposed to only 1 pair in 2019. Now, household. That is household items. So that's going to the grocery store, getting laundry detergent, dish soap, hair shampoo, conditioner, Q-tips, toothpaste, toothbrush. Those are things that you would use, household items in the kitchen, household items in the bathroom, bath towels, things that maybe you get some new ones. Those items have also remained relatively static. 40 euros the first 2 years, and then it bumped up to 53 and 55 this year. In 2022, the main reason why that's now 55 a month is because we came with several items from the US and we just decided to pitch them after several years of having certain towels and things like that. We got rid of them and got new. So part of that cost and that enhanced cost is getting new stuff. But 40 to 45 euros a month we feel is a pretty reasonable and pretty responsible way of looking at how much it would cost to get your household items that you need in Portugal. So next up is fitness, leisure, and travel. So fitness, that is our gym membership. We've belonged to the same gym since we moved. It hasn't changed in cost. It's 120 euros, so basically 60 euros per each of us a month. You can find better opportunities. You can find places that charge 80 to 100, so you can find better deals in Lisbon as well as in Portugal. Leisure. Now, this is everything from going to the movies. This is not travel, going to different countries. Leisure is arts and entertainment, going to a museum, going to the cinema, going to the movies, doing something, a social occasion in town, going to see a comedian. This is also Netflix, Amazon Prime movies. So I'll say our arts and entertainment, if you will, the leisure, has been anywhere from 115 to 130. And quite frankly, it hasn't gone up much in 4 years of time. And in 2022, the real reason there's any change in cost at all is because Netflix and Amazon Prime is a little bit more. And I want to be a caveat here. We have Amazon Prime through the US. We do not have Amazon Prime through Europe. So we get a greater access to movies, so it costs a little more to have that membership and keep that membership here. And then Netflix charges a few more dollars a year to have that service as opposed to prior years. So that is leisure. And then travel. This is one that some of you may not have as a line item at all. Some of you may have this number. Some of you, but not many, will probably go higher. But this is travel in Portugal as well as outside Portugal. This is trips back to the United States. This is all travel to all places. I'll say outside of Lisbon. If it was inside Lisbon, it would be leisure, but outside, anywhere else is travel. So in 2019, when we got here, it's 460 euros a month. In 2020, it went down to 225. Well, that's no shocker because we couldn't travel many places. Our travel was pretty much refined to within Portugal unless we were to go back to the US. In 2021, as we were able to find out where we could go in Europe, we started traveling more. And in 2022, as the world has been opening up, we're getting to a lot of places. So our budget, we knew this, and so our travel budget is actually higher than our mortgage this year. And it may be that way for a couple of years because we don't know what the future holds, but we want to be able to see as much as we can. And we budgeted before we moved, and as we were saving and investing, we were saving and budgeting for a high travel budget. So you may look at that and go, we're not going to be anywhere near that. But I wanted to make sure you had some transparency from us because you see our travel videos, and I know that a lot of people don't watch them, but this goes into our bucket, and I want to make sure that people understand that this is what we're paying for when we're going on those trips. So when you're looking at a monthly cost over a 4-year period, again, in euros, 2019, you're looking at about 2,105 euros. 2021 dipped down. Most of that was travel-related savings, 1,929 euros a month. 2021, we started bumping back up. Again, much of that was travel-related, 2,289 euros a month. And now in 2022, we still got half the year to go, but right now we're maintaining a little less than 2,500 euros a month as far as our cost of living. For some of you that are looking to move here, the biggest issue, again, is the real estate and the housing cost. If you want to be in Porto, in Lisbon, in the main drags of the Algarve, you're going to pay more because many of those are newer or newly renovated properties. And that's something that you really have to wrestle with. Do you want to have a lot of money tied up in a mortgage or a lot of money tied up in a rent? If you plan on traveling or if you plan on spending a lot at restaurants, that is the biggest rub that I can see when someone's looking at the cost of living, because I will say the data that's out there before we moved, as well as the stuff that I still see, is nowhere near accurate. So again, I wanted to have transparency with this video showing that this is what our mortgage is, but to get the same place, you're looking at least 2 times to 3.5 times that if you're paying rent in this area, as well as you can't get the property for the same price that we paid in 2018 either. So as you keep looking at Portugal as an option, as a retirement option, please make suggestions to me on what types of videos you want to see. If there's things that you don't agree with, please put them in the comments. I love open discourse and agree to disagree, or to agree to agree, or to disagree on things. So as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that if you're looking to come to Portugal, this helps you either give you reasons to move or reasons not to move, so that way you have some clarity in your decision. And as always, enjoy your travels.